For over 30 years, the Canadian justice system has focused on a fairly standard process. An offender commits a crime, charges are laid, and the courts, some combination of judges and juries, will consider the charges, and, if found guilty, will provide some form of a conviction, in the form of restitution, probation, jail time, or some combination of the three. The problem with this method is it often doesn't address the root cause of the crime or take into account the reason for the person's actions. It also doesn't address the needs of the person harmed, and, more often than not, individuals who run through the criminal justice system have high rates of recidivism, meaning they are likely to commit crimes again. There is also a disproportionate number of Indigenous people within the justice system. With all of the apparent problems and difficulties of this system, it begs the question, isn't there a better way? And if so, what does that look like? Restorative justice is an approach to achieving justice that involves, to the extent possible, those who have a stake in a specific offense or harm to collectively identify and address harms, needs, and obligations in order to heal and put things as right as possible.
Restorative justice is a peaceful alternative to the criminal court system.
Restorative justice is based on tenets originally derived from Indigenous communal healing practices. Its principles are based on respect, compassion, and inclusivity. It encourages meaningful engagement and accountability and provides an opportunity for healing, reparation, and reintegration.
Restorative justice has been present in cultures around the world for a very long time.
We've taken a sample from the Aboriginal and Indigenous communities as to how they counteracted, delinquent behavior within their communities.
This year marks 24 years for restorative justice and alt measures here within our agency.
Restorative justice has various forms and takes place at all stages of the justice system, but most commonly it's applied to first-time, nonviolent offenders at the discretion of the arresting RCMP officer.
Now, you cannot eliminate the criminal justice system for serious crime, but in partnership with the criminal justice system, restorative practice can be utilized.
Restorative justice is a good option for us. Perhaps we have a client or someone who's accused of doing a crime that may not necessarily fit into the current judicial system. People like younger youth who may not be carrying a criminal record, or maybe perhaps one of those youths that are kind of falling through the cracks, and it's a way for us to kind of nip in the butt as to what's going on with them in terms of their criminality. As the situation unfolds and the officer is able to gather more information, he or she will decide whether this is an opportunity to forward this particular file to the Restorative Justice Forum.
We usually start with the person that's caused harm to ensure that in fact they want to participate in the restorative justice program.
If the offender agrees that restorative justice would be an agreeable method, then all parties, including the victim, offender, and officer, gather for a community justice forum. Here, the incident is discussed from all perspectives, feelings are shared, and then a restorative justice agreement is created, outlining the steps the offender must take as part of their restorative justice healing journey.
Sitting in circle in a community justice forum, oh my goodness, there are so many emotions that go along with that. If we are successful, there's almost a transformation where you may begin in an adversarial situation where both the person that's being harmed and the person harmed are angry. By the end, if they've heard and really listened to perspectives and listened to one another, oftentimes there's a transformation that takes place, and it's amazing to observe that.
There was a lot of resolutions for us, and for me personally, I forgave the young fella, and that was a big thing for me. We all got to talk and explain what was happening, and the young fella, I think, started to feel that he had injured us in a way. Being part of the program and sitting around the table and hearing his parents and himself and the officer and the people from the program, they led me to peace.
Various forms of restorative practice are used throughout the world. Its benefits are far-reaching and, most importantly, positively impact all those affected by crime.
We look at what does everybody need to move forward.
The victim can help us to make recommendations for community service hours, for counseling, for whatever they think that the offender might need or what the victim feels they need in order to be able to move on from this. Sometimes that includes restitution or money paid back if there is damages or harm done in that way. Other times the victim might just want an apology or just to see this person face to face and say, look, like this is how you've affected me.
If followed through and done correctly, everyone benefits from restorative justice. The community becomes more connected, the parties involved have actual resolutions, and a sense of responsibility to each other increases. Not to mention the statistical decrease in recidivism. There's a misconception that offenders aren't actually held accountable for their actions. But in fact, although non-punitive, restorative justice results in more positive outcomes by finding a solution that fosters accountability and the healing of damaged relationships.
It gives us an opportunity to slow things down, to sit someone down and show to them, this is how you're actually affecting people. This is how you've traumatized this person.
Taking less time to the court system for files that don't need to go there. They can be solved within community through whether it's community policing or Prince George Urban Aboriginal Justice Society.
I just feel like jail, charges, all that stuff, like, if anything, it will just help people get more closed-minded because they won't get opened up to the different communities that you have to get connected to and work with to get over all this stuff. You actually get involved with community. You get involved with your mess up. You get involved with mistake, and you get involved with getting better and bettering yourself.
We're able to show people that there's another way to deal with things. From the person who's been harmed point of view, to be able to see that the person can have a very full and happy and productive life and know that you've been heard in the process, maybe that's good enough.
It's not a hand slap, it's opportunity. The individual that has caused harm really needs to reflect on their behavior and needs to physically face the person that they've harmed, and it's not easy to admit that you're wrong, that you've made a mistake, and to offer up something to give back to that person and community to make up for the harm that has been done.
From the outside, not actually being in the process, it doesn't look like much, but they sit you down, they make you pretty much speak to yourself, speak the truth to yourself on what you did and why it was wrong and how to make it better.
They're looking at themselves within to why they offended or caused harm to somebody, and so they have to do a lot of work.
Young people are so easily led, especially by somebody who's older than they are, and that's what happened with this young fellow. It was his first time getting into trouble, and the police officer knew that, and it is so much better than getting them into the system. So much better.
After going through it and seeing what it did for myself and my wife, I really feel that it's a growth for him and us because we were able to forgive.
So I understand there's people in the community who feel that it's just a tap on the wrist. Oh, they'll just get a few hours of community service and have to say they're sorry and they'll be done. My question for them is, what do you need to see? What would make it right for you? If someone close to you had caused somebody else harm, what do you want to see happen to that person? Do you want us to just ignore whatever they need in life and say, well, they had their chance and they blew it and let's lock them up? Most people can change if given an opportunity to change. And that really is what this process is about. It's about giving people an opportunity to say, I take responsibility for my actions. I want to make a change. And I need some help, some guidance on how to do that.